In 2000, a coming-of-age story. Gay youths coming out.
Ooh, Yaoi review.
Hi everybody, it's Corbin, and today I am going to go ahead and talk about an independently published yaoi today. It is Prince of Cats, Volume 1 and Volume 2. So, I'll give you a brief summary of both of them, and then we'll delve into the art style, what it thought of it in general, and where you guys can read it on your own if you really want to. Now, Prince of Cats actually came out quite a few years ago. Came out about 2-3 years ago. And it's one of these that is very nostalgic if you're a kid of the 2000s and you were coming to terms with your sexuality. So in Volume 1, it presents us with a very interesting antagonist, well, main character. I'll just keep it simple. The main character, named Lee. Lee is actually able to communicate and talk with cats. And the cats owe him one wish for saving their princess in their land or something. They never really explained fully that entire situation. So Lee goes, he picks up eggs for his mother. And we meet his friend, which I think is Michael. Frank, sorry. Is Frank. Frank lives on a farm and is a semi-wannabe fashion designer slash farmhand who is Japanese and torn to a strict honor code to do what makes the family proud, kind of thing. And we get all of that within the first episode. The first issue. The first issue is very slow. It's very nostalgic. It is just a very dry, slow beginning towards what's building up. The two boys in this volume are just friends. You get the feeling that Lee really, really, really likes Frank, but that's it. There's no lovey-dovey, nothing like that. It's very cut and clean and dry. In the middle of that one, in the middle of Volume 1, it comes with a free print, which this one is of Lee and Frank at a pumpkin patch. Also, with my order for this manga series, it came with some freebies. So it came with thanks for your purchase, and it warns me about the mini prints being in the middle of the comics. And then it came with a few little 5x8 or 5x3 cutouts. Like this one is from Prince of Cats, and this one is from the Other Sider anthology, which I have every intention of checking out. It looks really cool. And then it comes with some business cards for her webcomics. So that's one of the bonuses I love about getting online webcomics. So let's delve back into Volume 2 so we can stay focused and on track and not lose any sort of momentum with this. So Volume 2 comes around about prom time. Let me make sure I didn't drop anything, and I did. Okay. The second volume comes around at prom time, where we see the two boys, well, the one boy, Frank, he gets asked out by one of the people he tutors in school. She is very excited to go to the prom. He is very nervous because he hates dancing at proms. He hates those sort of social engagements. So he goes to prom with them, with her, and it is a rather... It's a lot of fun. They end up dancing, they have a blast. Everything works out great. Frank attends the dance because he's on... Lee, the other character, attends the dance because he is on the yearbook committee and has to take photos of the homecoming queen and all of this stuff. And it's one of those bittersweet moments where Lee sees his crush dancing with a girl and is completely devastated because now he thinks Frank is not going to be his friend anymore and abandon him, kind of thing. So it works out really interesting that way. And then the two boys talk to each other, and we find out a bit about their past, about how Lee almost died, and Frank saved Lee, and it was just a completely an emotional mess. So after that happened, the boys drifted apart. Yes, that's this volume. Again, it is a slow start up to get to the main hump of what's happening. But this one by far is my favorite of all 6 volumes. I'll tell you that flat out. Now, with art style, it is... Let's try to get that into focus for you. This is... I want to call it a semi-realist comic book style, but it's more cartoony than comic booky style. And it's all colored in with watercolor. I like the semi-realism. It actually grew on me the longer I read it. And I began to enjoy the style the longer the series went on. Now, that being said, the only difference between this one and the online publishing is that you get some of the Patreon web exclusive things. Like, I get little drawn things in the back that say thank you. And I got... In some of them, I got replies back or edited out pages that she didn't publish inside of the comic. So I got that stuff in this instead of having to do the Patreon thing, which I wasn't around when she did Patreon. Oh, this was the free print inside of that book. Now, Prince of Cat is independently published. It is by Kori Michele Hardwerker, is how I want to say the last name. I'll annotate it into the video and have a hyperlink over where her name is, so you guys can go to see Prince of Cats. I did enjoy the series, but not as much as I could have. It's... With these 2 volumes in particular, it takes a long time to build up to an action that makes the story feel necessary. But for me, it was 100% nostalgic. It reminded me of a lot of things that you go through, and this just hit that home for me in particular. I gave it about a 2.5 to 3 stars. 2.5 was the first volume, 3 stars with the second volume. It's very middle ground. It's not something you have to have. You can read it online, and you really wouldn't miss anything. So, it's up to you whether or not you think it's worth it to buy it. I would recommend reading it online. It is still a great work. It's just dry. So if you don't like dry yaoi, it's not going to be up your alley. But if you like the teen angst drama thing, then you're going to go ahead and really like Prince of Cats. So if you guys have questions, shoot it down below. The link for this series will again be in the description, as well as on that annotation that had her name. And you guys could go ahead and check it out. I shoot up these videos every week, so you guys will see another yaoi review in a week. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Do you like what you see? Then...
Subscribe!